biologists gather here. Did all humans come from one place? Or did we evolve separately in different parts of the world? Today, we are going to explore the out of Africa hypothesis. The idea that all humans originated in Africa and moved into different parts of the world. How exactly do scientists know this? What evidence is there to support this hypothesis? Before we go further, think about this. What exactly does evolution mean? These are things that we've already touched on in class. What type of evidence can scientists use to trace ancestry? And what happens to genetic variation when a small group leaves a population? If you said evolution is changing species over time and that DNA and fossils can trace ancestry, or maybe you said something fancier than that, you are ready to understand the concept of out of Africa. The out of Africa hypothesis states that modern humans evolved in Africa and then migrated outward around 60,000 to 70,000 years ago. That means all humans today share a common ancestor from Africa. Yes, you and I, Jeff and Tanis and Sukmani, we all share the same ancestry. How cool is that? Just look at this map here. Humans first spread from Africa into the Middle East, then Europe, Asia, Australia, and eventually the Americans. One of the strongest pieces of evidence come from fossils. The oldest Homo sapiens fossils have been found in Africa, some of them over 190,000 years old. These are big numbers in my head. Fossils found outside Africa are much younger. This here is an image of fossils that scientists have collected to use as evidence to support the hypothesis we're talking about. This suggests that humans originated in Africa before spreading elsewhere. So far, just to check that we are understanding where we are coming from, if the oldest human fossils are found in Africa, what does that suggest about where humans first evolved? I'll give you a second to answer that question. Another piece of evidence comes from DNA. Scientists study mitochondrial DNA, which is passed from mother to child. When they compare DNA across populations, they find that African populations have the greatest genetic variations. As you can see here, this indicates that humans have been in Africa longest, allowing more mutation and variation to accumulate. Just from these two evidence used in genetics, I just want to see if you are following. Why would populations outside Africa have less genetic variations? Okay, I'm sure you're following along. To understand better, I will demonstrate something called the founder effect. And if you can bear with me, I will just flip my camera and we can get rolling. To understand better, I will demonstrate something called the founder effect. I have my beads here. These are representing the original population. And you notice the high variation in this pool here, in this population. Now, I will randomly select a small group. So we are saying this small group here is migrating, I guess from Africa in this case. Oh yeah, that continue. Ooh, some are dying before they even leave. Never mind that part. Just me having fun. So already, as we can see, there is this here represents the humans migrating out of Africa, as you can see. There is this new population here has less variation. So this is called the founder effect. When a small group forms a new population, it carries only part of the original diversity. Now, what do you notice about this what do you notice about the diversity of the second cup? Okay, so just to recap the concepts that we have touched on in this class in Bio 30, we touched on evolution, which is change. Evolution tells us about change over time. Then common ancestry, or humans share African origins. Population genetics, that's the gene pool change. And natural selection, that is adaptation to environments. So the out of Africa hypothesis is a real world example of evolution. All right, in conclusion, we can all see that fossils and genetic evidence support that modern humans originated in Africa and migrated across the world. This demonstrates evolution through common ancestry. Now the final part, which is going to tell me if you understood what we tried to explain in a few minutes. Let me see if you understood. I have some questions for you. I know some of you are competitive, so here we go. The first question: where did humans originate? You can pause the video here and answer. The second question is, what evidence supports this hypothesis? And I'm going to throw in the third question in there. What is the founder effect? And finally, why is genetic variation highest in Africa? If you can answer these questions, you understand the out of Africa hypothesis. Thank you very much for listening while I rumble, and I would just like to end with a disclaimer that the information shared here is only for learning purposes. It does not reflect the thinking or conclusions of the presenter.